What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at Scream Gameiro, the 86 striker. Obviously he is from Valencia and he is French, so we've already got good links there. We've already got a nice team, very good league. I must admit the La Liga this year isn't quite what it used to be. Cruz has been absolutely nailed because of the pace aspect of this game. You've got Modric, who actually I haven't played with, so I can't know too much about him. But again, the lack of pace as such has killed a lot of these cards in the game. We have been introduced to Scream Cruz, who I will be using and actually playing with very, very soon. But Gameiro is another very nice upgrade. He's come from an 81 rated. He's been given quite a lot less stats than a few of the others, especially for a 5 rating increase. He's only been given 2 pace, shooting, passing and defending, but he has been given 10 dribbling and 13 physical. So you can already see that he's mainly focused on his dribbling and physical in this card, mainly because his pace was already 85, his shooting was already 79, which makes it 81. Dribbling wise, he was only 77, so that is a massive increase. Big no-no for the card is he is only a 3-star skiller, and that can be detrimental to a card when it goes from being a upfront on his own to maybe someone with a partner. I think Gameiro works well with a partner, and personally that is how I played with him. Personally had a very close cam network with him, so I personally found that on his own he struggled. You've got to be able to get into that space, get out of that space when you're using a lone striker, and Gameiro isn't that sort of player. Personally, I did like Aspas for that aspect, because he was that little bit more of a clinical striker, or clinical striker, someone who's going to score a lot more for you. Gameiro's shooting wise is okay to average. I wouldn't say it's absolutely fantastic and he bagged so many goals, but he did make a lot of assists, he made a lot of plays, and overall was a nice card to use. I personally didn't rate him massively, only for 99.5k on the Xbox and 105k on the PlayStation currently, so he is fluctuating to price because obviously I bought him for around about 115 and sold him off for that much. So the pricing is coming down each day, obviously, until we get rewards day, where I can imagine most of these will hit a massive flop and then they may slightly go back up for obviously when they're outside of packs. That is predominantly what most cards do, depending on their demand as such. The supply for Gameiro is relatively high. I think Scream cards in general, this obviously being the first promo, this promo that EA are introducing, if it carries on this way, we're going to see a lot less of a supply from these sort of promos. Normally, you'd get 1, you'd get 2 maybe within especially a week, but now 2 weeks, personally, I've spent quite a bit on these points and I've not packed a singular one. That for me shows that if EA are going this sort of route and don't increase the pack weight, we're going to be seeing a very dry amount of promos, because if you can't even pack the lowest rated one, I think Bateson and Castro personally, who I've been watching, I think Bateson spent 40,000 FIFA points and got one of the cards, and he was alright, but he weren't the best card. That is a scary thought, that you've got to spend almost, I believe, about £200 or however many that is into dollars before you even get a singular one of these cards. But anyway, enough of that tangent. Gameiro, 3-star skiller, 4-star weak foot. He is 5'8", so a relatively small striker. Don't expect him to have an amazing ability for heading, even though he does have 99 jumping, which is just a complete random stat out there. I think that's how they managed to get the physical up so much, is just whack a crap load on his 99 jumping. 84 stamina, which is, to be honest, good enough. 76 strength, average at best. 87 pace, which is nice, especially with a decent chem style. That can be used very, very well. And then that gives you 89 acceleration and 85 sprint speed. Good on the acceleration. Once he hits that top speed, you'll find defenders are catching him. And that is an issue that I found with someone like Aspas, with someone like Insigne. They start off well and they just continue. Whereas Gameiro starts off brilliantly. He's got a really nice turn on him, but then once he hits that max top speed, he then starts to get people catching him. And defenders do catch in this game, like we saw in FIFA 19. It's not all about pace. You burst past them and that's it. You've got no chance. They will catch. And with Gameiro's top sprint speed, I do think that he got caught a lot of the times with some of the pacier centre-backs. You're looking at Lucas Hernandez. Obviously, Van Dijk's a big one. You've got Akanji is a fantastic centre-back. You've got a lot of good centre-backs this year that will catch these strikers. 81 shooting for me is not good enough as a base. But for instance, if you was to put, say, a Hunter on him, you'd get 87 shooting and 97 pace, which is absolutely fantastic. But I don't know if that's personally going above and beyond for this striker. It'd only make him an 87 rated striker. If you was to put a Hawk on him, still gives him the 87 shooting, which is fantastic, 92 pace, which is nice, and then it also boosts his physical up to an 84, giving him 81 strength. Again, you may be thinking, it adds no to the jumping, so are you using it for unnecessarily value, really? You want to make the max out of your player. Personally, I would probably go with someone like, something like a sniper. Get his dribbling up to almost max at 95, whilst getting his shooting up to an incredible amount. That, for me, is what I personally would do. Also, if you wanted to go for Deadeye, that could be your partner in crime. Basically, you'd want a fast striker and you could have Gameiro as that assisting player. That would rate him up to an 89 rated striker, giving him 92 shooting and 83 passing, because personally I think dribbling wise he was nice. I can't argue with that. 90 composure, which is outstanding for an 86, 90 agility, 91 reactions and 85 balance, also with 88 ball control. Personally, dribbling wise, I had no problem at all with him. I thought he was fantastic, really good on the ball. The main issue I had with him was actually trying to break down defenders. They're really, really good this year, and with the added defense AI being top notch at the minute, or at least OP, it's a struggle for players like this, and I think this is why the pace element is massive in this game, because you need to be able to get away from these defenders before they clump up and make an impossible wall to have a shot from. Gameiro likes to be on the edge of the box, being obviously quite a small player. He struggles to get in the box and actually makes a difference, because there's just 5-6 defenders. If you've got drop back, you're going to find it very difficult to break down that defence with Gameiro, unless he is unwilling to kind of use his defenders and not really hold back. You're going to really struggle to get past them, because he just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the skill moves, because obviously being only 3-star, there's only a basic amount that you can actually do with him. Whereas you'll see some elements like this, where you see again, with 2 defenders back, it's a struggle for what to actually do. He does manage to get the pass off, which again is what I think Gameiro is fantastic at. Really good at making them assists. And you see right there, the defensive AI is incredible. And it's not until you kind of make these sort of opportunities, and if that went in, I'd have went crazy. Because unless you're making them opportunities for him to make a mistake, it's going to be a struggle to just go through. But you'll see here again, easily shot down, and you're kind of hitting wild shots, and that was the problem with him. He was hitting all the right shots, but unfortunately they were too far out. They weren't really going to go in, maybe one in a lifetime, but that's what he does best right there. Hold the ball up. He's still quite strong for a 5'8" striker, really good at holding that ball up, waiting for instance for me, Lacazette to join his attack as a cam, and basically go past them. That for me was fantastic from him, and when I realised that he may not be the finisher that I'm looking for, as an assister, fantastic. Really, really good to play like that. And I don't think that can be his only use. He can score goals, and he did score goals. But personally, I really preferred him as that kind of hold-off player. Make sure that the defence is right on your back foot, and then you just pass it around them with someone running through. If you've got someone getting in behind, he's going to find them. His passing's decent, and if you do make a dead eye off him, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So overall, I do think he is better than Benzema. Personally, I think he's got more about him, and they're very, very similar sort of strikers. Very much a hold-off striker, or a hold-up striker, I believe it's called. And then they make the assists. That's basically what he is, and I think, personally, he did it better than Benzema. I do not think he is better than Aspas. I think Aspas was an incredible striker. Really, really nice on the ball. Really fast, really good to actually get the goals. And you could use these two as a partnership. Gameiro can be a hold-up striker. Aspas can be the guy running past, making them chances for you. I'm giving him a 6 out of 10 for value for coins because at this time, 120k is a bit much for this sort of striker. 100k would definitely push it to 7 out of 10. And I think if you could get him for anywhere between 50 and 60, I think that's where you're looking at your 8 and 9s out of 10s for value for coins. 5 out of 10 for FUT Champs. I think he's not the competitive player. Personally, I would find him very, very frustrating using him in a FUT Champs team. And overall, I'm giving him a 5.5 out of 10. Mainly for not being able to get them goals when it matters most. And that's something that you definitely need in your striker. If you was to use him solely as a cam centre forward, someone who's just going to assist, I'd give him a 7 out of 10 personally. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. And if you want to let me know who else you want to review, if you have got this far, let me know down below. I'm taking all the requests, putting them in a pile, and we're still smashing them out. We're trying to get as many of these screams done before they go out of packs, so you can kind of basically see who you want to use. And we'll keep doing that, as well as the normals and the gold in forms. We'll keep doing them all. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.